So this is a super important discussion just before you go and write audit examination. Now I've been constantly telling you that this examination is very different from any other exam, and this 3 hours is the most complicated 3 hours, more than your exam time, because you have to handle your internal uncertainty about how the paper is going to be, how you are going to write it. In the regular route, most of the students, what they do unfortunately is they try to cram more. Now when you do that, when you try to do that, what happens is, for a particular question, you get stuck. You just can't move any forward. The amount of syllabus which you can cover right now is extremely low, which does not have any value. So it is very important to follow a strategic approach. So we are investing 3 hours to make sure we cross that 45 during the 3 hours in the examination. Now I'll start with what we have to do in the exam. Simple and straightforward. Pick up 2 questions between 3, 4, 5, 6. Flip the paper, like yesterday we did the practice slide. Flip the paper, try to identify the core of the question. Try to understand the core of the question and try to understand the adjustment. So core of the question, there is always more to the story. It's not very straightforward. There is always more to the story. So try to understand that and choose 2 questions between 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay? So 2 questions in the first one are, it has to happen compulsorily. Don't think of an innovative answer. Don't write and rewrite. Simple. Put enough effort. Put enough mental effort. Now understand this. The nature of this paper demands you to put a certain amount of cognitive effort. If you put half-hearted effort, it will force you to rewrite. So put that complete effort in a single shot. So complete this paper. It's super important that we have to complete these 2 questions without so you definitely have to complete it. This is important. This is important to clear. Complete the question. That's it. You know it reasonably. Finish it up. Don't leave it for the later part. At least 2 questions you just have to learn. So while you're choosing the question, put in some adequate time to choose which question you can answer. All of it's reasonably right. Is it clear? 2 questions entirely without leaving anything. Otherwise, you will face a problem by completing. Is it clear? Done. Next, you can choose one more question, or you can shift to MCQs based on how it is done. If you realize that this paper is not very comfortable, then even if you don't know anything, finish this. Even if you don't think you know any particular question, still finish it, because you have to write it. It's no longer a question of whether you know or right. You have to write everything, so finish this. Next step is, if you think you're not finding the third question very comfortable, then what you can do is probably start MCQs between 3 to 3:30. What MCQs will do is, it will give you some graded points. When you go through MCQs, you'll pick some key terms, and you'll find some graded points. And even people talk a lot about 10 knowledge. 30 to 40% of them are here in the question paper itself. Keep searching for those keywords. You understand the meaning, you have to convert it into a particular word. Try to replicate and extract most of the words from the question paper. Question paper is the key. Keyword, if you talk about keywords, the words in the question paper are the key. Okay? So this is exactly why you have to pay a lot of attention to the question paper. Right? So the first 2 questions, pick up the important keywords in the question paper and try to extract as much as you can. Right? This is done. Now then MCQs and one more question. So by this time, how many marks you will be attempting by the end of second half in this scenario?
50
By 4 o'clock.
60 to 70%.
How many marks would you be attempting by 4 o'clock if you are following this format?
50, 72 marks. 72 marks.
Why is it so random?
Because that will be 28 and this will be 30.
By 4 o'clock. So this is what happens, like, if you're not paying enough attention during the audit exam, you cannot think fast. Pay attention, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Pay attention. Otherwise, the quantum of effort which you put into the exam preparation cannot directly translate. Again, it's a very special exam, that's why we are repeating it so many times. Make sure you complete 72. 3 questions, 14 to 342 plus 30. You have to definitely attempt 72 marks by the end of second half. 4 o'clock, 72 marks in the denominator should be done. Whatever you don't know, push it to third half. Then you can write bits and point here and there, whatever it is. Attempt the paper entirely. If you don't do this, the problem is the whole paper will become loose. There's no single question which you would have done, and it's constant confusion, and you don't get some random insights suddenly. You go with a certain level of knowledge, you do the best within the available knowledge. That is the nature of the exam. Okay, understood? Is this clear? For you to efficiently do this, you should be able to re-revise what has already happened. Now for that, the first and foremost game changer is this index. The ICI index, whether you take a print of this or this, anything is fine. So when you're looking at it, what it will do? It will give you an instant coverage of the entire syllabus. Instead of going through the 2 modules, in 30-40 pages you will be able to go in through. So in these 3 hours, I would recommend you to go through this at least thrice. Because if I ask a question from the index, even now, you won't be able to answer even from this. See, each and every point is very loaded. It's not some other regular subject where you can pick a lot of content and paste. Okay, it's very loaded. So even if you complete it properly in these 3 hours, it's still a lot of work. It's good enough for you to cross the Spotify. Okay, so every 1 hour you are quickly going through index, and the last thing before you go into the examination work is also index. That is 3 cycles of index mapping back to back, which is strengthen your memory. Done. And apart from that, in the first slot we are covering 30 plus marks because there are other 10 markers, but audit report is something which you can reasonably write properly, and followed by special audits. And if you do this two questions properly, 2 chapters properly, you will be able to score or attempt 20 plus marks. And these 2 smaller topics, audit of banks and ethics, will give you another 5 credit. So 30 marks in the first 1 hour, which you are revising now. And next, you go to audit evidence, audit documentation, both are interrelated. Completion review, 5 marks might be coming. So this is another segment which you can finish. Once you do this, very quickly you have to go through risk assessment because it is 1 chapter which will extract a lot of time from you. But we are looking at, let's say, scoring 4 out of 12 or 4 out of 10. So even if you score 4 marks, it's still fine because it's a tough chapter for most of the students. And finally, the last, it's a combination of 2 things. Audit of items of financial statements is extremely important, and to boost your confidence, we kept this simpler chapters 1 and 2 where you get a sense of completion. Okay, this is exactly how we are operating. If you don't do this, you'll end up only solving 7 to 8 questions altogether where you feel stuck because you feel that you don't remember it, you feel that you have by heart it. So that is the reason why I want your mind to run very fast. Is this clear? Do organize your books in such a way that you are doing this. First, keep your index mapping with you. It should always be there, and choose only 1 book for 1 chapter. It is a time to quickly rev through everything. It could be saransh, it could be a short notes, anything. This is exactly how we organize. So those who are watching it, please follow this as it is to make sure you score 45 on it. So we have another 3 hours before the exam. This is exactly what happens. Thank you. Thanks for watching.